The term petrodollar wasn't popular until recent years. The news coverage only became bigger, making threats in headlines that the ending of the petrodollar means to the ending of the dollar as well. I think there is a huge misconception here. I would like to add a little bit of my input. But surely, petrodollar is an agreement signed between with the US and the Saudi Arabia, because the Saudi Arabia have the petrol and then the US have the dollar, and when they combine it, it basically was like, I have a petrol, I have a dollar, boom. Petrodollar. A funny guy anyway. I have actually created a magnificent video about years ago, and I'm kind of like out of breath recording a video 20 minutes straight. Anyway, I believe anyone who studied a little bit of the currency history would be familiar with the Nixon shock event, where the president of the Nixons goes with the suspend temporarily of the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets. What it means is that you hold the dollar, you cannot hold other assets than the dollar itself. Why? Because at that time, the US experienced hyperinflation with causes from excessive spending like walls and, Then about 2 years later, after the Nixon shock event, the US found something that could reverse the country's fate. And it does, which you see now. And what was it? Crude oil. Oil in Middle East country will like out of random, you just hold a long stick of straw, you poke it into the ground, and voila, here's an unfound oil pool. You're rich. Wait, I have a tons of oil reserves underneath my foot. I'm stepping on the ground where it's strategically important locations. I have a pool underneath my foot that smells like money. I'm rich. Oh, how can I sell them? In bulk and in better price. You're probably thinking. And here comes the representative of the eagle descendants. They smell oil. They smell opportunity here. A fact I need to throw here is that most of the public didn't understand why oil was so valuable, and the fluctuation of the oil price affects so many things, like why many of the global leaders are so typical on oil and even on oil production countries, that because oil produce energy. In other words, oil is a commodity that can be used to transform into energy, and energy is the fuel for an economy. You know that we humans have experienced over a couple of industrial revolutions. We went from like steam engine to combustion engine to digital automations, and probably now the AI revolutions. Ever since the creations of the AC, the alternating current that was invented by the Tesla, the Nikola Tesla, the guy, the fancy and crazy guy, right, with holding a lightning spear or something like that. Like ever since the second industrial revolutions, where electricity was discovered, energy is the resources every single country lack of, and is the resources most production country crave for, hunger for, drooling for, a bala reason for. For crude oil is one of the cheapest options for energy productions. Think it of like there's a saying goes with, if you control the foot of the people, you control them. And this is pretty much similar to oil, like during the analog era, where everything will literally vanish due to the destructive of what the war has brought to our ancestors. The war from the World War II. Everything awaits to be built, and you need to build something, production in another word, you need labor, and in additions of the electricities, or in another word, energy to quicken the process. Well, you might be thinking there are other energy production methods as well. But oil is the cheapest and the simplest options of all, because it transforms, if I understand a little bit of the physics, they transform combustions into energy. I'm a little bit off track. So under these conditions, along with the Saudi Arabia having borderless oil pool, oil is critically demanding. The eagle descendant knew that, as well as the Saudis. The eagle descendants goes with, okay bro, you have oil, you could have reached, but you have no connections. You know trade road, you know market. Me brother, me help you. Me help you sell, me help you get rich, me help you get golden crown, me send you military protections. But under one condition, every barrel of oil sold must be bind with the dollar. And then they had the agreement made, and that made the dollar the strongest currency ever and helped them out from the pit. No, wait, not so fast, don't jump to the conclusions yet. Now, I don't know if you ever heard of the word hard currency, like say for example, if food is the daily necessity for human, then oil is the necessity for a production as well. The necessity where you cannot live without it can be identified as hard currencies. The eagle descendants buy their dollar with a hard currency that's similar to pegging to the currency to a dollar. It's like they call it the gold standards, right? But oil as a necessity for the economy build up, indirectly exporting their dollars to the countries who needs them. If you get the picture yet. And never mind, I'll try to explain it. In another word, whatever things you have in value, you exchange them to dollar first, and then you get the oil after. Now you're holding the dollar. Not only you can buy oil from Saudi, you can also buy other stuff from US too. All access purchases with others that recognize the dollar as well too. And if they want to buy energy, they uses the USD, and that's how the dollar got exported out globally, being recognized and regained a consensus value. Then let's get back to the petrol thing again. Petrodollar, eh? These petrodollar, the objective of the petrodollar is to export the dollars and make the dollar the dominant currency. Yet what if the contract between the Saudi and the eagle descendant is void? Well, in the analog era, money gets circulated within a physical economy. By physical economy, I mean like productions, like like literally every productions. Like you want to make cars, you need energy. You want to produce something that consume energy, like you want to mine Bitcoin, it produce energy as well. Everything that buy the energy. But now we are living in the modern era. We have all sort of digital stuff you can and can never expect all pops up. You can even have Bitcoin that's number of digital digits that can be sold for over 100,000 each, and stock market where most money went in for speculations. The dollar circulation no longer required to buy on just the hard currency alone. There are many fancy and shiny places you can go to, not to mention ever since that US has its own technology like the shale oil, for example, the weight of the petrodollar no longer has the weight it had. The US has already achieved its objective, and that's the story. So if anyone tells you the ending of the petrodollar meaning of the ending of the dollar, tell them this. Ha ha ha.